PC WizKid here with the MSI Twin Frozr Gaming Edition of the GTX 750 Ti. The 2 GB model here. Twin Frozr Gaming Edition cards are great for gaming, of course. I reviewed them in the past. This one here comes pre-overclocked out of the factory on that GPU core. We're going to look at this card more in detail. I love the Signature Series Twin Frozr fans that you can see right there. Nice, thin, quiet, and they really work wonders, I tell you, to keep this card cool. Now, looking at the design, of course, dual heat pipes going from the bottom of that card, as you can see, through that heatsink, that aluminum heatsink that is sandwiched in between. You can see the PCI Express slot, which is the only thing that you need to power this puppy up, which is great if you're upgrading this card. You can put it in Windows 8, no problem. Has the latest support for that, of course, with the dual BIOS switch, which it has right here at the top. And you can turn that off, of course, if you don't want to use it. Right there. Okay, just slide the switch over. And you can see that there's no PCI Express power connector. So if you have an older system, power supply doesn't, really matter too much here. You can just slap it in, away you go. You've got support for your standard monitors, of course. So just, you can see there, I've got 3 plugs. I'll just take them out. There's your VGA, HDMI, and DVI out. Okay, so you can play no problem 1080p on high settings on lots of games with this card, believe it or not. Now, looking at the size of the card, as you can see, this is not a large card. It'll fit in most cases, no problem, as you can see. Dual slot card, though, keep that in mind, okay, for those of you that are upgrading, looking for space, looking for options. This one here looks good so far. Now, of course, what system am I using this in? Here are the specs, okay? You're running at 4.5 gigahertz on this test machine that I've got here on an Asus board with 8 gigs of memory. And you can see here the GPU-Z specs, 28 nanometer architecture on this GPU. New architecture, the Maxwell code name on this next generation GPU, of course. Support for the latest DirectX 11.2. You can see also the ROPs, the shaders, the pixel fill rate, 2 gigs of GDDR5 memory. The bandwidth is 86, and of course 128-bit bus width on that one. Mid-range card, not necessarily entry level. This is more of a mid-range. You can see there the GPU, the memory, and the boost clock speeds that it comes out of the box. And the temperature readings there with a fan speed of about 900 RPM stays about that pretty consistently, actually. 25 degrees Celsius there on idle, and on full load, which you would never really run it at 100% constantly, but if you were to do it, no worries. 53 degrees Celsius is pretty low, believe it or not, and that is great. These are awesome results considering the fan hardly even changes its speed. Now, looking again, overclocking this even further made no real difference in temperatures, which is what I really like to see here. Lots of overclocking headroom, scalability, lots of frames per second that you're going to get for sure because of the boost here that I gave it when I manually overclocked it using the MSI Afterburner software, and temperatures still hovering on idle around the 25 degrees Celsius mark. Overclocking is not a problem with this card, but of course it does vary a little bit. Now, 3D Mark Vantage scores, we're really looking only at the GPU score there of 19503 and comparing that score, of course, to when I overclocked it even further and to other graphic cards. So there you get a good idea on where this card stands. Now, looking now at 3D Mark, the Ice Storm score, here it is for entry-level PCs. Then we've got also the Cloud Gate benchmarks, and you can see them here as well in case you're wondering that. You can compare these results with other graphic cards that I've reviewed or online. And of course the Firestrike scores, which are for higher gaming PCs, and you can see there 3872 is the score, and when I overclocked it even further I got the result of 4240. So definitely increase boost in speed, frames per second, and you can see here even more results. Not overclocked right out of the box. 57 frames per second on this one. Average. Overclocked even further. 63.2. So you can see there the gains. Depending on the games, depending on what you're using it, depending on the settings, you're going to see results. You're going to see a boost. Here's Tomb Raider running at the normal display settings. Again, great results. Very smooth. Here it is on high display settings in case you're wondering about how it scales, and on ultra high display settings. Okay, so very well done there on Tomb Raider. Looking at Battlefield 4, very smooth results again. The sweet spot is really running it at high preset settings, so no complaints from me. I mean, if you're playing this on high settings, that's going to be a real eye candy. Now, looking here at Battlefield 3, older engine, higher frames per second, definitely. And you can see the results right there. You can play this on Ultra, no problem. And going now to Bioshock Infinite, I did see some substantial increase, especially when I overclocked it even further on Ultra High. Wow. Super smooth results on that one. Now, Crysis 3 really puts the graphic cards to the test in general, and look at them right here. You can see how much it stresses it. And also Alien vs. Predator, there you can see the results, and the boost when overclocked, get at least 4 more frames per second, even more than that. Now, looking here at the price point, about $200, what are you going to shop around for that is close to that can perform as well? Well, this is a really nice card, I gotta admit. It performs really, really well. I definitely recommend something like this, especially if you don't have the power supply and you want to upgrade and you want something that really performs well on high settings. You saw it right there at 1080p. Great results. Definitely nice to have. Comment below, let me know what you think. And again, like to thank MSI for providing it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.